Hi, so today is day 6, and I had a lot of interesting reflections and thoughts today. And that's what this whole experiment is about. It's about really being conscious and present with my thoughts. I started this experiment because it's about learning to communicate with my gut microbiome. And in order to do so, it means that I have to be present with my thoughts and my feelings and just really be present in my body. And the whole reason to do this is so that I can become a clear channel, reduce brain fog, reduce any issues with my body, and really being inspired by source and creation and being able to use my body and my life force energy for why I'm here, which is to create an amazing world. And so the last few days, I mean, I haven't even done this for a week. Tomorrow will be a week of when I was first downloaded with this information and this inspiration to do this project. And already I found myself just slipping into unconsciousness. While I might be conscious of my thoughts, still unconscious with my eating a little bit. So today I paid a lot more attention. Towards the end of the day, I kind of let, certain things slip in. Like I really wanted to have something sweet. And so I had my beautiful seed bar that's really not that sweet and it's, not that bad for you. But again, it's more of trying to discern what is ego versus what my gut is saying that it needs, what my body is saying what it needs. The ego being that craving, that pattern, that habit, built out of something. There's a program there that's happening in my body that is, just encouraging a behavior. And, it's an unconscious patterning that's going on. And until I uncover that, it's hard to break that cycle. And then, discerning what my body needs in terms of this is what my gut is saying. And if I listen very closely, it knows what it needs and it knows what we have in the house. And I keep good things in the house. So there's something to be said about learning to trust my intuition, but it's about hearing that voice and hearing what it's saying. So, I was really present. I was really present with my thoughts today. I found myself just judging nonstop, judging myself, judging others. I mean, judging people that I don't even need to think about or judge. Like, I listened to an amazing podcast and I'm comparing one shaman to another. I mean, who needs to compare them? Who cares? They both are giving me wonderful, valid information. Why am I comparing one to the other? I found myself judging, my relationships with other people, myself for my relationships with other people. I had an interesting moment today where I I triggered somebody. I triggered a friend of mine. And it was all based on the fact that, they were feeling put off by the fact that I dismissed some of the things that they were saying, which was based a lot in negativity and wanting to go down, just a non-productive street. And so I kind of, shoved it to the side and said, like, we don't need to focus on that. And the result was very reactive, just hanging up, which I find really interesting because I feel like this is the second person who's been that kind of like reactive to me. And I didn't say it in a harsh way. I didn't do anything in a harsh way. I've always been very kind and gentle. And, I've reminded myself that what we experience in the world through our interaction with other people is a mirror to us in some way. So I had to think about, like, what is going on in my life that I am dealing with this in such a way that people are reacting, even when I am, not being my normal harsh self. Because I'm Sagittarius. I can be pretty blunt. I tell it like it is. And yeah, I was blunt in this, but in a very gentle way. And I thought that there was an understanding that, we were going to accomplish a topic within a time. And there was just, about being productive. And to me, I don't want to gossip. I don't want to talk negative about other people. And it's interesting that I'm saying this because, as I mentioned earlier, there's that point in me that was judging. And I think it's unfortunate in the human condition to want to complain and put blame on other people, put blame on the outside of us. And so I was, just shutting that down a little bit. And then when I reflected about myself and in my own life, I was realizing the ways that I get triggered by some very similar things where I didn't feel supported. My point of view wasn't supported by my friend, or maybe my friend didn't think the way that I did. And there's that trigger in me that's like, oh, I don't want to deal with these people anymore. They're not my vibe. They're not my frequency. I don't want to deal with them. And, that immediate kind of wanting to cut them out. Although I don't think I really react that violently almost when you are silent with somebody or you hang up on somebody, that's a very violent reaction. And so I was thinking, like, okay, so if it's not in my interaction with people, where am I maybe experiencing that violent and have a quick trigger? And there's definitely a lot with my husband and daughter that's been going on. I mean, you live in a household together under quarantine, very close quarters, and my patience has been actually expanding and growing infinitely. But over this last week, there's been a lot of, we're not a lot of tension. There have been tense moments, I should say, and where I eventually get triggered. And it's usually because they're triggered earlier, and then my patience runs out after some time. And then I just kind of like froth over because my cup has been emptied, and like I have nothing left to give, and it breaks, and it's just a lot for me. So I realized that, some of this is my own internalization. Like I have like what is inside of me is being projected outside. And so I do have my own triggers to work on. I do have to look at the ways that I might be cutting people out or cutting their point of view off because maybe they don't want to go down that road. Maybe they don't want to talk about those things. Maybe they're feeling in a certain way that I'm not witnessing. And there's just a lot to think about. And, that's what this gut microbiome experiment is all about. I know that it might seem like it's two different things, like dealing with our thoughts and then dealing with, the gut bacteria. But the thing is when these thoughts, when these extra thoughts that are just like nonsense, like are occupying our brain space and occupying our energy, then we can't be in tune with everything else that's going on around us. We are not made up of human cells. We are made up of bacteria and viruses and protozoa and archaea and like a ridiculous amount of other beings. It's crazy to think about, but 90% of humans is not human. 90% of it is due to this other life forms that actually make up who we are and are in symbiosis with us. But we have taken that symbiotic relationship, we've taken that harmony and we've dysregulated it. And this is what causes disease, and this is what causes problems. And so what happens if we can learn how to communicate with our body and be in cycle with our body, be in harmony and in cycle with nature? And so that's what this is about. And when we are, having these unconscious thought patterns running in the background, and we're doing things that are not in our best interest in terms of thought, then it's occupying our energy and it's occupying our thought. And we are no longer fully in tune with who we are and our frequency and our resonance, which includes this symbiotic relationship that we have with all the organisms of our body. So, what I realized is I'm really blessed because one of the containers that I'm in, which is what led to this sacral chakra healing almost 7 days ago now, that led to this big breakthrough and this release, is dealing with two things: chakra clearing, removing the blockages, but also this idea of mastery, self mastery. This is what it means to really ascend, to be an ascended master, to be able to manifest what it is that you want in life, what it is that you are able to create. It's through self-mastery, and self-mastery comes by being able to master one's thoughts. And so I'm really grateful for this experiment because it's making me slowly uber conscious of my thoughts. Because it's one thing to watch your thoughts and try to reprogram in the moment for just doing it because that's a good thing to do and that's something to master. But it's another thing to watch your thoughts and to pay attention to them because it's going to affect what you eat. And when you pay attention to how it affects what you eat, you're going to be making different decisions about your food. And there's an external factor that is being put into this that is, the external being the food and the internal being the thoughts. And when you're marrying the two, it makes something a little bit more tangible. So anyway, I am grateful for this experiment. It's hard. It's really hard because it's making me really come to terms with a lot of aspects of myself, whether it be, what's happening in my day to day, what's happening in the background of my thoughts, what I'm going to eat, having to do these videos. But I'm just remembering that, with every step, that it's just a little step forward is going to make a huge difference in the end. It's not about having to write a book all at once and remember everything all at once. It's about giving a little bit every day. And so that's why I'm going to continue doing these videos. And if you're watching, I hope you're enjoying them. I hope that they're helping you. And, I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Okay, I have been seeing the numbers 1212 and 1010 repeatedly. And, our guides communicate to us in numbers. Well, they communicate in lots of different ways. They communicate to me in numbers, number sequences. And it's just something that I'm really grateful for because I know I'm being divinely guided through this process. Mary Magdalene and, the lineage of Isis was with me through this breakthrough, through this sacral chakra healing. And she is with me right now. And so are my guides, all of my guides. So thank you to my guides. Thank you to the universe. Thank you to you for participating with me. And if you are just starting with me here, I'm going to be recapping, what this experiment is and, just going through that again tomorrow. Okay. So hang in there. Have a wonderful day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.